Hey, Brenda.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Been a while.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
I'm so excited that we've gone this far. And overall, your health has improved since you become a nurse.
For sure.
My healing hands, maybe?
This is Brian. He's a participant in an international drug trial led by the DIAN-TU at WashU Medicine. The trial tests potential Alzheimer's treatments in people with a rare inherited form of Alzheimer's disease. People who have these genetic mutations have a 99.9% chance of developing the disease at around the same age their affected parents did, often in their 50s, 40s, or even 30s.
People with our gene, we're like a body of evidence, so to speak, for a crime. Crime would be Alzheimer's. We have all this stuff, all this genetics in us, just needs to be deciphered by people who know what they're doing.
These families with autosomal dominant Alzheimer's disease, they're so informative, scientifically and medically, they're so impactful that the community of researchers all came together. And so now DIAN spans across North America, Central and South America, across Europe, into Asia and Australia, and most of the continents.
The Global Dominantly Inherited Alzheimer Network Trials Unit, or DIAN-TU for short, has led to many impactful advances in the field of Alzheimer's disease prevention.
Through the DIAN studies, we now understand that there's a window early in Alzheimer's disease where there's pathology, but there's not very much damage. And we can estimate the damage based on things like a tau PET scan or a brain MRI for atrophy. Because we know that, we're moving earlier and earlier to treat clinical populations.
For the first time ever, researchers are able to study the pathology of the disease in asymptomatic people.
I view Diane and the researchers as the detectives. It takes them being able to crack the codes that are locked away in our blood and our genetics.
The DIAN trials are unique in that they're the first trials really looking at younger individuals with this autosomal dominant genetic form of Alzheimer's disease. In the past, most studies didn't include dominantly inherited participants because of their age. They're much younger than the other participants. So bringing together all of the groups from around the world has allowed us to have a large enough population of individuals to really be able to understand what's happening and to intervene.
The DIAN-TU was set up as an adaptive trial, which means things can be analyzed during the trial and can be adjusted if needed. So this means you don't have to start from ground zero every time you try a new drug or add a new way to analyze how the drug is working or increase the dose of the drug. It's important to have an adaptive design where you can add new things in.
We're using multiple different drugs, sometimes in parallel, sequentially, and sometimes together. So for example, the Tau Next Gen trial, which combines anti-tau drugs with anti-amyloid drugs at the same time in the same person. So how have you been?
Good. I've told Dr. Bateman that I will be at his disposal till I stop being useful to him. And that would be death or being symptomatic to a point where I can't be used.
In the journey to advance the field, the establishment of the DIAN-TU Pharma Consortium marks a significant milestone. This global alliance between DIAN-TU and leading pharmaceutical companies help guide the trials with unparalleled insight and expertise.
Typically, pharma develops drugs within our own resources. However, DIAN-TU is an incredible collaboration between academia and pharmaceutical companies and bring together the best that the two approaches could offer, and a win-win opportunity for the scientific field in general and patients in particular.
DIAN-TU's innovative approach also harnessed the synergy of public, private, and philanthropic partnerships, and is setting new benchmarks in the design and implementation of prevention trials. This collaborative model not only accelerates progress in Alzheimer's research, but also serves as a model for future trials across the globe.
Industry has the products, they have the technologies, but it takes a longer time horizon. And that's the kind of thing that both government and philanthropy can provide. We can have that patient capital to support projects that will last for many years.
The DIAN-TU has been groundbreaking in bringing together a variety of partners, both to provide medications for the study as well as a variety of sponsors for the study. This was one of the first studies I was affiliated with that was supported both by the NIH, by the Alzheimer's Association, by pharma. So DIAN and DIAN-TU have advanced the field in a major and significant way.
Pioneering prevention studies is challenging work, but DIAN-TU is leading the way with unique trial designs, inclusive collaboration, and, most importantly, input from participants and family members.
What we can learn from DIAN families, we could not do any other way. And there is no doubt in my mind that we would be at least 50 years behind, if not more, in trying to combat this disease if it weren't for the participation of DIAN families.
I have had people say that I'm very giving and caring and kind to do this for the world. I find myself a little more selfish than that. I have a 13-year-old daughter. Everything that I'm doing is for her. If it works for me, that's great, but she needs a world where she doesn't have to worry about the fear of a genetic form of Alzheimer's in her life.
To learn more about the impact of the DIAN-TU, please visit dian.wustl.edu.